Alright, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back. It is time to do some more AlphaStar 1 versus 1 commentary. Today, AlphaStar may be an AI, but it is a bug as well, as it is going to be playing Zerg. And AlphaStar is going to be taken on a Protoss, and not just any Protoss, a very good Protoss, a Protoss Grandmaster player. So today, AlphaStar playing Zerg, taking on one of the best at Starcraft 2. And we're going to see how well the AI is going to do. So far, I've seen a fair few of AlphaStar's Zerg versus Protoss games, and it plays pretty well. I'm honestly hoping that we're going to see maybe AlphaStar get a bit more aggressive. Sometimes it just shows like a killer tendency that I love to see. And maybe we'll see that this game, like a roach push or something cool like that, who knows, or maybe we'll see something completely different. That would be also great to see. And then we're just gonna keep our eye on what this Protoss player is doing, because a lot of what AlphaStar and a lot of what Zerg does is basically just reacting to what the Protoss is doing in this matchup, as Zerg is a very reactive race, and so you've got to know what your opponent's doing. You got to react pretty perfectly. It's very tough to master, as someone who hasn't played a ton of Zerg myself, but I do know that it's very tough to be able to check all those boxes and defend every attack. So we're going to see if AlphaStar is going to be able to be up to stuff and deflect what the Protoss is going to be doing, because it usually is the Protoss choosing what build they're going to go for that really dictates how the game is going to go. And yeah, just things are going to be starting to heat on up here in a minute. But of course, as per usual, ladies and gentlemen, seeing as how this Grandmaster Protoss is at 23 out of 23 supply, let's try and hit 23 likes on this video. And of course, if you're new to the channel, feel free to consider subscribing, as I put out a lot of StarCraft 2 videos. And I'm actually excited. I got a pro game that I'm going to be casting soon. I'm just chomping at the bit, probably going to cast it soon after this game, as it's one that was recommended by a pro player. It's a Bly game, who's a very good Zerg player, and he recommended the game, said it was crazy. And for those of you that don't know, when a pro player recommends a game and says it was crazy, it's something. It really stands out, because they play a lot of games and they sort of get desensitized to awesome StarCraft 2. So when they recommend something, it's like, oh boy, that is a really good game. Now, the Grandmaster player going to be blocking AlphaStar's expansion attempt, killing the drone with the pylon, keeping it out too long. So well done by the Grandmaster player, messing with AlphaStar a little bit. The Adept does actually shade on out, though, and heads home, when I think it could have delayed this hatchery a little bit more. I guess just worried about aggression, but oh boy, here we go. AlphaStar is at it again. It's going to be doing more mass ling shenanigans, because that third base may be on the way. However, there is also a lot of lings coming up behind it, and I don't know if this Protoss player knows. We'll see if he's going to be able to wall this off and defend in time, because AlphaStar is just making so many lings, and this Protoss player does not know about this. In come the Zerglings. They're going to attack the Stalker. So far, the Stalker is a solid wall, but suddenly more lings are coming on in. They're attacking the Stalker. They're getting shots up on the Adept. The Protoss player tries to recall the Stalker to save it, but it doesn't manage to in time. Lings are now trying to micro their way into this wall that's being thrown on up. However, the Oracle is gunning them down very rapidly, so AlphaStar committing in to try and break through this wall, but I don't believe it's going to happen. The Oracle kills and kills until it runs out of energy. More lings are coming across the map, but so far it seems that the Protoss player has held that bout of aggression from AlphaStar. AlphaStar, though not done just yet, has made another round of lings, may try and crack this nut once more. However, the fact that the shield battery is done, that the gateway never fell, means AlphaStar's attack kind of failed there. So AlphaStar showing us once again that it is not having a lot of success with the mass ling flood, and it's like, maybe you got to find some new builds, AlphaStar, because the AI lost 27 lings trying to break through that wall. The Protoss player just threw up a couple of extra gateways and kept things cool as a cucumber. Now we're going to keep an eye on how AlphaStar is going to macro out of this. The Zerg is very good at making a lot of workers, pumping out a lot of drones when you decide to. However, AlphaStar will be a bit vulnerable and could potentially lose some drones here as these oracles fly on in, and it looks like a handful of drones going to die. 6 drones die in all. AlphaStar fires up 11 in retaliation. However, this Protoss player definitely has a lead. You can't make as many lings as AlphaStar did and not get any damage done. Templar Archives is on the way for the Grandmaster player. I really enjoy this choice. Low econ Archons are very, very good as they require a big response to deal with. You need to have a good number of units, otherwise the Archons just won't die. And AlphaStar, being on a poorer economy, is going to have a tougher time with that. So I really like the choice of that from the Grandmaster Protoss. And then the Protoss is just getting up his third base. Everything is A-okay. As these Adepts are tucked in, the Oracles are there to defend. Couple of High Templar being morphed on in now. They're likely going to turn into Archons. There we go. Archon, High Templar warping in, Archons morph again. And then this Prism is going to lift up these 2 cotton balls, and they're going to begin dropping into the Zerg's base, and we'll see if AlphaStar has a response to this. So far, there's like no units out for AlphaStar. There's 5 queens on the map, but these drones are going to have to run because Archons spell bad news. Now, the Warp Prism took a fair bit of damage from the Spore Crawl, but oh no, the drones of AlphaStar are all clumping up, and a lot of drones taking shots there. A fair few have died so far. All in all, I think about 7 or 8 have died to this attack. But oh no, AlphaStar losing so many drones to those Archons. And oh gosh, that went from bad to worse. That was like 13 drones that died. Oh no, those Archons did so much damage. AlphaStar, why? As the Zerg loses just so much of its income. Now, AlphaStar is a drone building machine, so it is actually getting that drone count back up pretty darn quick. However, it's just not good how many workers that it has lost. I mean, take a look here. 23 drones, and all the drones that were never born because it committed so much to lings. This is not good for the Zerg. In a normal ZVP, I'd say the Zerg, very little chance to come back. Maybe AlphaStar can do it though. Playing it sort of unorthodox style. Maybe it's going to just make like a ton more drones and somehow hold on. We'll see. Trying to focus down the Prism with these queens in order to get rid of these Archons after they've already caused AlphaStar so much pain and grief. That one's at 14 kills, primarily drones. I mean, AlphaStar is up to 80 drones now, so it really needs to start making units soon and to stop making drones as it's gone way above and beyond as far as making enough units. So AlphaStar probably wants to start making roaches or something soon because this Protoss will likely be coming for an attack sooner rather than later, I imagine, but you got to admit, AlphaStar is cutting corners right now hugely. It hasn't really made a unit past these literally 2 roaches up until this point. It made the ton of lings, and then it pretty much went into droning. Now, we'll see if this is going to bite AlphaStar in the butt, though, because in comes this Protoss force, and while the AI is building roaches now, it really waited to the last second, so we'll see if it's going to be able to hold on. More and more roaches are on the way. AlphaStar has a very good drone economy to afford a lot of roaches, but does it have the time to produce enough to hang on now? I mean, there's lots of sentries, immortals, and more zealots being warped on in here for the Protoss player, so AlphaStar is going to be tight pressed to hold on right now. Just needs to keep spamming that roach button. A ton of Ravagers are morphing, but I feel like they're a little bit too late. All of a sudden, the Immortals are stepping forward. The sentries are tossing down force fields. Drones are being pulled into the fray to fight here. AlphaStar can afford a fair few drone losses here, but I don't know if it's going to be able to afford the loss of this hatchery as the Protoss pushes in. Prosabile getting tossed down, but the Protoss player dodges those. More and more roaches are on the way here for AlphaStar. It's got a good army to the south now and an army to the north, so maybe enough roaches have been produced. Looks like there's going to be a bit of a sandwich getting tossed down. Prosabiles are being thrown down by the AI, but they're not really connecting there. The roaches are having to retreat on both fronts as they're not able to cut it versus this Protoss army. AlphaStar is doing a good job kiting back, but Oracle's adding damage in. Looks like AlphaStar might have actually held this attack, though. I mean, it's just been buying a lot of time, producing units non-stop, and actually ends up repelling his opponent, or the AI manages to repel its opponent, gets up another hatchery as well, so AlphaStar is still on 4 bases. Even making a single Mutalisk to help repel this Prism, most likely, making 2 mutas now. But yeah, that was actually a very good hold from AlphaStar. So we'll take a look here. In go these Roaches and Ravagers. They're stepping forward. They eat a Stasis Ward, as this Protoss player knows he may need a bit of time to consolidate himself. But fortunately for AlphaStar, the main job is done now. Holding on was the main challenge there. And it managed to hold on. Now the question is, what does the AI do next? It could just keep making more and more Roaches. It's made a handful of Mutalisks here, and appears to be making more and more mutas, which is cool. I haven't seen AlphaStar make too many mutas in a game before, which is exciting to watch. Will it make a ton of mutas, or will it just make like 10 and then just go harass its opponent with them? It's going to be tough to say what AlphaStar should do. For now, though, just going to have to try and get something done with these mutas, I feel. There's a few moving out now. The third or the fourth base is a little bit exposed. AlphaStar wants to consolidate all of its mutas before moving in. Although, oh, look at this. Counterattack with the Warp Prism into the natural base. Going to start killing off some of those drones. AlphaStar going to clean this up with the mutas. However, of course, now the mutas have been revealed. So there is no more surprise here for AlphaStar. And this Mutalisk count has been shown to the world. Protoss getting tossed down as these Ravagers and Roaches are just being harassed by these Oracles. Fortunately for the Roaches, the Oracles run out of energy. The Protoss player taking the Muta threat very, very seriously as he throws up 3 Stargates. He's already got 1 done and building 2 more, as a matter of fact. So going up to 3, which is a very serious amount of Phoenix that can be produced. And let's just take a look here. AlphaStar on 4 bases, now going to move in with these mutas. We'll see how careful it's going to be with these. I mean, mutas are very soft units. AlphaStar is going to need finesse here. Going to start attacking into some Stalkers in the main base. Picks off one of the Phoenix before that count has really built up too high. How much damage are these mutas going to get done? Oh, that's yet to be seen. However, these Roaches are now also moving in for AlphaStar, going for a 1-2 punch, just trying to pull the Protoss player apart. And this is looking like a good game from AlphaStar because it's building up a big bank behind this. It's getting up another hatchery. It's resecured this one as well. So going up to 6 bases while also harassing with these mutas and seemingly rolling this Protoss player over. I mean, the Protoss has been making triple Phoenix production, but hasn't really been able to consolidate enough in order to be effective against the mutas. I mean, the Roaches are just trading out now, even catching some of these Protoss units. This game that looked like it could have been lost for AlphaStar is all of a sudden looking very, very good here. I mean, these mutas may eventually be cleaned up, but AlphaStar just needs to make enough units to defend this push, and then it will be in a very good spot. Like these Immortals and Archons are doing their best to push in here while the Protoss's base is falling into a bit of a state of disarray here. I mean, the overall economy for the Protoss is okay, but Roaches are knocking on the front door here. The Mutats are still taking the attention of the Grandmaster, and looks like an attempt at a recall here to try and pull back and defend versus this, but 1 Archon and a couple of High Templars might not cut it versus these Mutats, which are still wreaking havoc in the main base. AlphaStar is kind of just running around with them, but then look at that. An attack is heading towards the 4th of the Protoss. There are minimal units here left on AlphaStar's base, so AlphaStar should manage to clean these up somehow. It's just a few Archons and Immortals. I mean, I say just a few. They're very strong, but definitely a manageable amount. AlphaStar, though, is aiming for the counter damage as its main choice here. It looks like the mutas eat a Psystorm, the couple of Phoenix they're chasing after, and there we go. The Phoenix count really has risen up now. But yeah, AlphaStar just hasn't cleaned up this Immortal Archon squad that is continuously just picking off its units as they pop out. Look at that, a couple of Roaches are going to go down. AlphaStar really just needs to get, I don't know, like 15 Roaches or something in order to defend versus this attack, and these are the Roaches that are counterattacking that could deal with these Archons and then push in. But so far, these units for the Protoss have been getting a lot of good damage done. The mutas are getting cleaned up on this side of the map as well, so suddenly AlphaStar is losing a bit of steam here. Queen's coming in to try and help out versus this. Roaches are pulling back for AlphaStar. It just needs to clean up these ground units here, and then AlphaStar should be in a fine spot as the 4th base of the Protoss took a lot of damage. And then these aren't that many units. There we go. A recall goes down to save the rest of them for the Protoss player. So once again, good use of the recall. And now we're in a bit of an odd spot because AlphaStar is making mainly just roaches against a Protoss player who's got a ton of Phoenix out. So this can make things a little bit tricky for the AI here. However, base-wise, AlphaStar is in a bit of a fine spot, seeing as how AlphaStar has 2 fresh bases up. Whereas the Protoss player, his natural is pretty much not mining at all, his main's not mining at all, his third is oversaturated, and his fourth is well underway here. So neither player in a terrible economic spot. We'll see where the game's going to go from here, though. In comes the Phoenix for the Protoss player. Going to start picking off drones for AlphaStar. Now, AlphaStar is at 46 workers, so not great, not terrible. And take a look at this. Oracle's coming on in, too, to mess up some more of these drones. And there's just no anti-air for AlphaStar, so the Zerg's economy going to take a lot of damage. And look at this. The Protoss player just says, I'm going to keep making Phoenix. They're doing just fine for me. And I mean, Phoenix are all right versus a Zerg force. I mean, there's only roaches. Yes, Phoenix take a long time to kill roaches, but this is a very high count of them. So AlphaStar is going to be goaded into a counterattack. It's pretty much use it or lose it as far as its units go, but the Protoss players managed to build up a pretty strong ground army once more with these High Templar, with Psystorm, and then the couple of Immortals and Archons to help out. It might be tough for AlphaStar to push on in right now, so we'll see what these roaches are going to be able to get done. It's going to be tough to break this position, but this might just be AlphaStar's Hail Mary here. The Phoenix putting it in a bit of a precarious position as they keep lifting up roach after roach, and there's just not a lot going on for AlphaStar. I mean, this base not really mining much anymore. Fortunately for AlphaStar, has this base here. However, the tech-wise, the Protoss player is definitely winning out here. Zealots going in for a counterattack, wreaking havoc, and AlphaStar just making more and more roaches. I don't know if that's what it needs, but that's really all it can do. So it seems the AI has gone from bad to all right, back to a bit of a bad situation. Queens are going to try and repel these Phoenix, but there's simply not enough of them, so that's not going to go well at all for the Queens there. They do pick off one of the Phoenix, however. AlphaStar going to be losing this base here to this Zealot counterattack, and the Protoss player, the human, seems to be holding up a bit better versus the AI, which isn't sure what to do in a situation as crazy as this, it would seem. No spore crawlers have been built or anything, just a single Phoenix walking over. The roaches are really derping underneath all of these Phoenix, and AlphaStar really just has no economy. It's got an R8 army, but this much roach I don't think is going to cut it. As we take a look here, it's just Psystorm, Immortals, and Archons beat roaches always. Roaches are starting to engage the Zealots, picking them off, but Psystorm and Force Fields goes down for the Protoss players, catching a huge portion of the Zerg force there. More Psystorm, beautiful Force Fields catching a ton of the roaches there, and it looks like AlphaStar is going to fall here to the Protoss army. I mean, it was a good fight for AlphaStar, but in the end, it kind of just fell apart a little bit. Not quite there to consolidate itself, and the Protoss army is just too much now. So a good attempt from AlphaStar. However, yeah, just humans seem to do better in chaotic situations when the AI. When things aren't as formulaic for the AI, it seems the AI falls apart a little bit here. I thought AlphaStar almost had the comeback, but in the end, it just didn't really roll with the lead that it had. So a good attempt for AlphaStar here, showing great ZVP, but the GM Protoss player does manage to bring it back, does manage to close the game out. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to press that like button. And of course, if you are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Check out the Discord if you happen to have that. I mean, we got a bit of a bump in Discord where I post things here and there. Announcements and whatnot. And then, of course, thanks to the 3 of you who do support the channel under the memberships, which is great. So, thanks so much to everyone for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.